Relocate to a bigger table. One. Just like chicken. Done. Excited?
Yeah. I'm kind of scared for my grades and stuff for next week.
Why are you scared? I think you've done pretty good so far. There you are. Is this still TESL 343? Okay. Here you are. Okay. Here you go. Are we picking up where we left off?
This is a different one. It's called reflection. It's the paper.
Okay. So, do you need my help with understanding the rubric?
This is so just like reflect back on how I did on the paper.
Oh, I see.
That kind of reflection.
Got it. Oh, you got your questions right here, and then these are your answers.
Yeah. It was the same based on the paper we did yesterday. That paper.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see what you got here. How did your assessment measure the accomplishment of your objectives? Assessment measures the accomplishments of the objectives. Well, you did what you're supposed to do. Measures child's academic terms of speak up second language. Students are able to receive positive feedback and learn experiences in the classroom. The activities mentioned in my term project are done. Here's if students are struggling with understanding the assignment. The activities can also be changed if the notes from the therapist suggest help and changes to the future assignment in the classroom to help the student learn in the classroom. Let me read that one more time. The activities can also be changed if the notes from the therapist suggest help.
I think it's the therapist that sentence.
Okay, that's from the therapist. Suggest help and changes to the future assignment in the classroom to help the student learn in the classroom. Okay. Number 2, how well did your assessment fulfill the purpose that you had for your assessment? My assessment was used to grade the students in a fair way, since the students will be graded with the same checklist and rubrics.
Yes.
Avoid
Oh,
contractions. There you go. Okay. That is the same for when the students are doing the self-assessment of themselves and of their 4 sentences from the feelings worksheet. All the activities mentioned in this assessment are ways that could the students improve their listening, are ways that students could, students could, and then delete the students right there. Yeah, okay. The students could improve their listening, speaking, writing skills. Okay. Rate how well your assessment met the psychometric criteria that we studied early in the semester. Rate each from 1 to 5, as we did with the first assignment. Reliability test and grader reliability, content validity, washback, student to teacher, practicality, authenticity. They're here.
but these was also questions that I had from the. It was questions within these. It was questions, but it was on a different paper, like on different instruction sheet. This questions I answer the questions. That's where these
Oh, okay,
the answers for that.
got it. All right. Let's see. I think my directions can be a bit confusing for certain parts of the lesson plan. The directions or the feelings are the only ones that are clear and understandable. Yes, there will be an example shown to the students before the students start the assignment. Whenever you have a sentence like this,
Yes.
you notice how you say an example shown to the students before the students start the assignment. So you got the students and the students. Try to avoid repetitiveness. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So you identify the students once at the beginning, and then after that, you can refer to the students as they. So it says an example shown to the students before they start the assignment. Got it. This yes right here, is this applying to the following sentence?
It was these little questions.
Oh,
yeah. Different questions.
So that yes by itself which one of these questions?
I
Is
think
it-
that
is it applying
part
to?
was this one, so it's this section.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
Go back to the part that we're okay right there. Let me ask you. You see each one of these individual questions right here. Do you think it would be a good idea if you took like each section of this, for example, that answers number one, and instead of just having all the answers right here back to back, like highlight the answer that answers number one, and
I think this
then,
was the first paragraph for the first section.
and then cut it from there and paste it under question number one, so that when your professor sees this, he'll know exactly which question you're answering.
Because I made it on for the end didn't say what the thing was for the end for the paragraph.
So this is the format that your professor wants.
No, that's how I answered the questions with the I didn't really answer all the questions from here because some of them are the same idea or
Oh,
I didn't really answer some of these questions from here because some are like kind of repeating, so I didn't answer some of these.
oh. Okay. All right, let's continue. All right. Each part of this assessment will be measuring the 3 objectives mentioned in part 2 of the term paper. And then, yes, again, it is clear, but the wording of the sentences might be confusing to certain students, since the teacher's first language contraction. There you go. It's not
This one too.
English. Yeah, good eye. Okay, yes. The students do not understand the assignment. They can ask me to repeat the directions and maybe word it in another way. But they will. Okay, they can ask me to. You don't need the word make. So if I were you, I would delete make so that it just says ask me to repeat. Yeah, just like that. Ask me to repeat the directions. And I would also get rid of the word maybe right there. Yeah, just like that. To repeat the directions and reword. Repeat the directions and reword it. Repeat the directions and reword them. Let's replace it with them. Okay. And reword them in another way so they will understand the assignment. Yes. The test will be written in English. A translator or classmate that speaks the same language as certain students can explain the assignment to them to help each other put. Are you trying to say to help each other out?
Yeah.
Okay. With the assignment, yes. Since It will be during class time. It will be around 15 to 20 minutes long per day for the week of October. For the week of October or for the month of October? Because October is a month, not a week. Or are you talking about one specific week in October?
That was so-called, I think it was so-called, like I said, it was so-called the third week of October, and they'll be like testing the students Monday through Friday. That's what I was trying to just say.
So during the third week of October. Okay. Well, then in that case, you might want to rephrase that sentence so that that information is more clear. And I believe you can do that by saying, let me see, since it will be during class time, okay, it will be around 15 to 20 minutes long per day during the third week of October. Just like that. It will be during class time while other students are working on other assignments in the classroom. Wait. While other students are working on other assignments in the classroom. It will be during class time. You see, this right here is an incomplete sentence while other students are working on other assignments in the classroom. So I'm wondering if the sentence before that, this one right here, it will be during class time. I wonder if this should be in the same sentence as that, so that it says it will be during class time while other students are working on other assignments. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think, yeah.
Okay, so then in that case, let's do this. It will be during class time. Get rid of that full stop right there. And then turn that W in while lowercase, while other students are working on other assignments. And you can get rid of in the classroom because you already said that at the beginning. Yeah, just like that. All right. Since the students are at different levels in the learning process. Oh, that's another incomplete.
I think that one was trying to answer. One toward one of these toward.
Okay. Can you go back to the assignment? All right, so since the students are at different levels in the learning process, my rating for reliability for my assessments would be a 3. It's an assessment of how long the test will be during class. So this part right here that says, since the students are at different levels in the learning process, it sounds like that should be a part of the previous sentence also. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it sounds like it connects. So let me show you. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. It will be during class time while other students are working on other assignments, since they are at different levels of the learning process. You see what I mean? Yeah, since they are. And then, but you need to get rid of that full stop right there, because it's all going to be one sentence.
Do I comma?
No, no comma. There's no pause.
Okay.
Do you need that yes right there, or can you put that yes at the end of the sentence?
It was.
Because I don't think you should have it there, because it's gonna literally be in the middle of that sentence. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think for that question, it was this part to answer about this question about the grading.
Okay. So can you put that yes at the end of the sentence though?
I think, yeah.
So I would get rid of that full stop right there. And the yes. Okay. Since they are at different levels in, replace the word in with the word of. All right, so let's see what this sounds like. It will be during class time while other students are working on other assignments, since they are at different levels of the learning process. How does that sound?
Mhm.
Okay. And then the word yes that you had right there, do you want to put it right here at the end? If you want.
But it seems like I didn't mention about.
All right. My assessment of how long the test will be during class. That's another incomplete. So what exactly are you trying to say right there? My assessment of how long the test will be during class. What about your assessment? Are you trying to say your assessment will measure how long the test will be? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think it was so called about the time that the teacher would test each student during the class time. It would be during the whole week and stuff like that. Yeah, that sentence I try to connect it with it.
Oh.
We can combine the two.
Okay, let me read on that. My assessment of how long the test will be during class had where it will be and didn't really check the time for the assessment mistake during the third week. Wonder.
Revert do something.
For the third week of October? Is that what you're talking about?
I think like so called after the grade I gave my assessment, the explanation of why I gave it a 3.
Yeah. when you say I only had where it will be, what do you mean? What does that mean?
Because I think I had written it would be either in the classroom, in the reading corner, or in a certain corner of the classroom, or in
Oh.
another classroom.
Got it. Okay.
I didn't mention it here.
Okay. In that case,
It was in the paper.
okay, and didn't really mention the time for the assessment each day.
Yeah, that one, because I really didn't mention it. I only had mentioned the time for like the lesson plan. I didn't say it for the assessment part.
Got it. Okay. It's starting to make sense now. So now those two sentences need to be restructured so that what you just said right there can be more clear. So let's see this one. This one's a challenge. Let me see. I'm reading for reliability, test and rater reliability. I would get rid of this reliability right here so that it just says test and rater in parentheses. That's it. Because you already mentioned it right there. Okay, so my rating for reliability for my assessment, my rating for insert the word assessment right here between for and reliability so that it says assessment reliability. Just like that. My rating for assessment reliability, and then delete all this for my assessment. My rating for assessment reliability, test and rater would be a 3. Rather than say would be a 3, I would say is 3. Is 3, yeah. So replace would be a with is 3. Since my assessment of how long the test will be during class.
I think the test part was so close, so I didn't repeat the assessment.
Since my assessment of how long the test will be during class. So are you trying to say that your assessment measured how long the test is? Is that what you're saying? So I'm trying to understand what you say right here. When you say, since my assessment of how long the test will be during class. So when you said how long the test will be, are you talking about your assessment measured how long the test is?
I think that part was so called about. It was about so called that the assessment would that I didn't mention the time and stuff for the how long the assessment will be during the week and the day.
Oh,
I just worded it wrong.
got it. So
That's why I had the actual.
you didn't talk about how long it'll take.
Yeah,
what you were talking
that's what I
about.
was trying to say.
Got
Because I only mentioned the time for during the lesson plan for like each day, but that was not the test really. It was just a lesson plan of what they're gonna do. It was not part of the assessment.
Got it. Okay. Okay. It's clear now. In that case, we should rephrase that so that no, it's more clear.
Mm.
Let's see. My rating for assessment reliability is 3 since it did not measure since it did not measure since it did not measure length of time, since it did not measure how much time, length of time, how much time, since it did not measure how much time. Oh, shoot. Since it did not measure the length of time, since it did not measure oh, I'm approaching it wrong. Okay, so right here,
Yes.
after since, since since the time needed for the test was not measured. Full stop. Let's see what this says here. My rating for assessment reliability is 3 since the time needed for the test was not measured. Does that accurately say what you were trying to say? Okay. In that case, let's get rid of all this all the way to their class. God, that was a tough one. All right, let me see. I only had where it will be. So when you say I only had where it will be, are you talking about your assessment only talked about where the test would be, like reading corner, etc.?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the assessment,
They have that, and then so-called the date, like the when it will take place.
the third week.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. In that case,
Just didn't have the time.
got it. Okay, so at the beginning of this sentence right here, let's say, let's rephrase it like this. My assessment only specified
Study.
no, that's specific. Go ahead and select specific,
Yes.
delete the C, add ED. Specified. Yes. Okay. My assessment only specified, delete, I only had. My assessment only specified where it, when you say it, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the test?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, my assessment only specified where, replace it with the test. My assessment only specified where the test will be. Replace will with would. My assessment only specified where the test would be and didn't, contraction, and did not really mention. I would delete the word really and did not mention the time. Delete for the assessment. And did not mention the time replace each with of. My assessment only specified where the test would be. Where the test would be. Where the test would be. Where the test would take place. Okay, let's replace be with take place. My assessment only specified where the test would take place and did not mention the time of day during the third week of October. Okay. I think we got it. Yes, it does. The activities in this assessment are used to measure what I had written for the objective. Yes, since It's references back to the objectives in part 2 of the term paper. Ooh. Okay, here's another tough one. Because I'm not sure what you're saying right here.
The these were the questions.
But which question specifically are you answering?
I look like I only answered 3 of these questions. I think I did the first one and the last 2.
Does the test measure what it is supposed to measure? Okay, so I'm looking at the beginning of that paragraph, so I'm assuming that you're answering the first one.
I just didn't answer the 2.
Okay, go back to your work. So does the activities of this assessment are used to measure what I had written for the objective? Yes, since it's references back to the objectives in part 2 term paper.
Yes.
But so even though you show me the question though, I still don't understand what your answer is saying. And even though you show me the question, I still can't make sense of this. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I can't offer suggestions to edit that because I don't know what you're trying to say. Maybe if you can explain to me what you're trying to say right here, I can offer suggestions.
It seems like these are all the same answers to these questions. I think it was just so-called because the so-called the objectives this part. It's so-called I repeated it, but like in those sentences.
So I'm specifically looking at this one right here. Since it's references back to the objectives in part 2 of the term paper, that piece right there, that's confusing to me. I don't know what you're trying to say right there. So because of that, I don't know how to offer suggestions to correct that.
It seems like that one and this was the same thing.
If it's the same answer, do you feel confident enough to delete one of the answers then?
Let's see. Yeah, this one said about some activities. Yeah, it seems that this is both the same answers.
So do you want to delete one of them? Okay. Go ahead. It does, since the activities in the assessment are referencing back to the objectives in part 2 of the term paper. Okay, so yes, it does since the activities. Okay, so it does, but what are you talking about? Yes, it does what? It's always.
I think it's the so-called about the repetition.
Which one? Show me.
I think it's so-called. I'm trying to answer one of these about the repetition.
So either the second to the last one or the last one.
Yeah, because some of these other ones are almost.
Okay, so you need to be absolutely certain which one you're answering, because
I think I didn't.
depending
Yeah,
on
the
depending on which one you
the
answer,
fourth one.
you're gonna include part of the question in the answer. It's always a good idea to do that when you're answering a question, because if you just answer it, sometimes the reader will be confused and won't understand what you're answering. See what I mean? So for example, let's look at the last sentence here. Does the test offer useful, meaningful information about the test taker's ability? Okay, so that's that's called a closed-ended question, because you can answer it with either a yes or a no, which is why you said yes in a lot of your answers. But what I'm worried is that when your professor reads this, he just sees yes, and he's thinking, yes, what? Which is why it's a good idea to get into the habit to say, yes, my test does offer useful, meaningful information about the test taker's ability. That's what I mean when I say include the question as part of the answer, so your professor will understand what you're answering. Okay. Yeah. Let's go back to what you typed. So yes, it does. Was it the last question or the second to the last one that you're answering right now? It's very important.
Because it seems like those three sentences were almost the same.
All right.
I think that was.
Because the thing is, without knowing which one of these you're answering, I'm not going to be able to help you to correct it, because I don't want to correct it as if it's answering one question, but you were answering a different question, because then you're going to completely get it wrong.
It seems like I was trying to answer both the last two questions. Was that
The last two? The activities, the assessment, by referencing back.
and then seems that everything's repeated.
Okay, let's simplify it then, just to play it safe. Let's delete "it does since." And then capitalize the T. The activities and the assessment are referencing back. The activities and the assessment. Let's delete the word are. And rather than say referencing, just say reference. The activities in the assessment reference let's delete back to the activities in the assessment. Reference the objectives in part 2 of the term paper. Possess. My rating content of my assignment. Since I have this checklist. Some questions for this checklist.
I think that's why I was repeating my answers to Connor.
Okay. So do you want to include that in your answers, or are you saying you want to delete that part? It's up to you. Yeah, I'm not sure what you want with that.
Because when I looked at here, it's so-called about the objectives. This little summary of what it is. Mm.
All right, let's see. So let's rephrase it like this. At the beginning right here, type I rated the content validity of my assessment. Uh, 3. Full stop. And then go ahead and delete everything up to here, checklist. Just like that. Okay, even though I think some of the questions from this checklist are repetitive, I made sure everything assessment my objectives to okay. You could rephrase it like this. If you typed you could say, although some of the questions appeared repetitive, right click that to get the objective. try replacing that I with an A.
Oh,
The first I. There you go. Just like that. Repetitive. Okay. Although some of the questions appeared repetitive, comma. And then delete all this up to repeating. Just like that. Not that far. Yeah. Made sure everything in the assessment are following my objective to the term paper. Okay. I made sure no. Scroll up, because we're not done with that yet. Some of the questions appeared repetitive. Sure. Replace everything in the with my. I made sure my assessment, delete R, turn following into followed. I made sure my assessment followed, replace my with the. Followed the objectives in part 2 of term paper. I would delete of the term paper. Okay, let's run it back. Although some of the questions appeared repetitive, I made sure my assessment followed the objectives in part 2. How does that sound? All right. Well, hey, Mandy, we are past our time, okay? All right. Do you have an appointment with me tomorrow, or is that it?
Because I can leave.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna sign you out of the system right here, okay? Let's see. Bye. Okay, so here's what typed in person and continued our collaborative editing efforts for an assignment that involved creating a lesson plan for TESL students. Does that sound good? Okay, you're out of the system.
Thank you.
All right, it's my pleasure. At school next semester.
I believe, yeah, after I discuss some stuff for myself.
I'll be here. So if you need help,